Hello guys, my name is Koushik and welcome back to Lambda Test. In this video, we are going to learn two topics. One is the dropdown and another one is the alert. So first of all, we learn what is a dropdown and how to handle it with the help of Selenium. And followed by, we learn what is a alert and what are the ways we can interact with an alert using Selenium. And finally, we'll also learn how to run our test script from the testNG XML file. Let's get started now. So let us understand what is a dropdown. So previous video we started to interact with text box and buttons, right? So all are like HTML web elements. So here in HTML, to find it whether it's a drop down or not, it's very simple. The HTML element will be in the select tag. Okay. For example, here you can select this is our drop down. Here we have multiple values and we can select any of this. So this is a single drop down. That means of course we can select either any of one value. But if you see below here, we have like multi select, right? That means I can select multiple drop downs at the same time. Okay. So there are only two types of drop down. Either it can be single drop down or multiple drop down. Now let's see the HTML structure. So if you go and inspect this one, so here you can see like we have this select, and within the select we have this various options, right? So to identify it's a drop down or not, this is how we have to identify with the help of select tag. There might be a scenario where the UI looks like a drop down, but it is not a drop down. They are kind of like model drop down, or also we can call it as a bootstrap drop down. Maybe we'll handle that in some another video. Now let us see how to handle this with the help of Selenium. So before that, let me also tell you like what are the operations we can do, right? So we can select any of this, right? So in single drop down, we can do only the select action. We cannot do the deselect. For example, in multiple select, like here I am selecting New York and Texas, right? So if I want to deselect anyone, I can just simply click on that, or I can deselect it. For example, like I have selected New York, if I again click on that, it will be deselect, right? So in multi dropdown, we can perform the deselect, where a single dropdown, we can perform only the select action. Apart from that, of course, we can get the text that we have selected, and few other possibles are there. I will show you in detail. So here is our basic test script that we write in our previous tutorial also, right? So same before setup, where I have a build name called dropdown, and that name of the test is like interact with select, and then we are going to execute in the Windows 10 platform, and the browser is Microsoft Edge with the version 97.0, right? Already we know like how to generate this capabilities from the Lambda test platform, so no worries about it. And here of course our the hub URL is there from the Lambda test. We will also get this from the Lambda test platform itself, so we don't have to worry. And of course in the teardown, I'm just quitting my browser. Okay, and here is my actual test. Here I have like driver.get. Get is basically a function that is used to navigate to that particular site. Okay, now first of all, what we have to do is it's very simple. We'll find the drop down first. Okay, why we have to find the drop down? That means we have to find the select unique locator for the select, right? So already we know that in Selenium, ID is main preference. The priority is given to the ID locator. So here we can see like we have this ID. So we are going to take this, and then I'm going to select driver dot find element, and then followed by dot ID, and within double quotes I'm going to give the value. Okay, and then I'm going to store it as a web element. So let's name this like select, or we can specify like it's a day. So we'll say like day drop down, something like this, which is understandable. Okay, and then what we are going to do, so we already know like to do the click action, we have a function called click. To type in any text box or text area, we have the function called send keys. Similarly, to select any drop down, we have to get the select class from Selenium. Okay, so we are going to create a constructor for that. So select, and if you notice, it is coming from the package called ui.select from this Selenium. Okay, so here I will say like select, and then I'm going to create an object for this. So let's name it like cell and equal to new select. And here you can see like in the constructor, we have to pass the web element. So this web element is nothing but my day dropdown. Why we have to pass this particular web element to the constructor? In the sense, there might be possible that a single web page can have multiple dropdowns, right? So to interact with particular dropdowns, we have to say which dropdown we have to interact. So in the constructor, we have to pass that particular web element. Now here we are going to say like SCL dot, and you can see that we have various functions. So deselect all in the sense we can deselect multiple selections, and as I said earlier, deselect will only work in the multiple dropdown, not in the single dropdown. And apart from that, we have like deselect by index, deselect by value, deselect by visible text. Now this is a single dropdown, so of course we are going to do the select action. To perform the select actions, we have three functions again. So like select by index, select by value, and select by visible text. Let's go with the visible text first. And here we have to give the value within a string. So what do you mean by visible text? So if you go here, you can see like value equal to Sunday and the text is Sunday. So this option, opening tag of the option and closing tag of the option, within that whatever the text is there, that is known as visible text in terms of Selenium. And value in the sense like we have a function called select by value, and if you want to select based on the position, then we have to go with the select with index, and here index starts from 0. Okay, so let's say that we are going to select the Friday. Okay, I'm going to copy that and here I'm going to pass it. So this will select the value based on this particular text. If the text is wrong, the given input is wrong, then of course we'll end up with an exception. Now we are giving select by visible text Friday. That means of course it's going to select the Friday. But how do I know whether it selected the text Friday or not? So to achieve that, we have a function called select dot, then followed by get first selected option. That means whatever the value, whatever the drop down value we have selected, we can get that with this method. And this is going to return as again a web element, and we already know that to retrieve a text from a web element, we have a function called getText. So I'm going to print that. So sysout, and here I'm going to say like selected drop down value. That's it. Very simple. We are done with the first use case. And apart from that, also we can, if you want to interact in a different way, we have the select by index, and index starts from 0 here, and then followed by select by value. And within the value, whatever the value here you are seeing, that we have to pass. For example, Sunday. Now you might ask me, hey Koushik, you said that in a single dropdown we can select only one, but here you are passing select by visible text, select by index, and also select by value. What should happen in this case? It's very simple. First it will go with the visible text, then again it will go to the index and it will select the first one, that is 0th position, and then it will select the value by Sunday. So it might select 3 times, but whatever the value we are passing at the last, that is what it's going to shown in the UI at the last. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you, and it's very simple. Now we are going to execute this, but before that we'll also learn how to select multiple drop down. Okay, so here I will just add a comment. Okay, so let's go and inspect this one. So here if I go and inspect, first of all you have to see whether we have options, and options are available within the select tag. Then of course it's a select, so we can handle in the select constructor by the Selenium select constructor. Okay, and here also we have an ID called multi-select, so I'm going to copy that, and again I'm going to find that element. So driver dot find element by dot ID, and within that we have to pass it. Now we are going to store it as a web element. Let's name it like multi dropdown, and again I have to create the constructor. Can I use the same constructor? We can do the reinitialization, but I think for beginners level we'll just create another constructor or another object. Okay, so here again I'm going to say select, and then followed by I will name it like, what's this? This is basically countries, right? So we'll say like countries equal to new select, and within the select again we have to pass the web element, that is multi drop down. Okay, now I said that we can select multiple in this, right? Let's see how to do that. So here we are using visible text. I will comment this as of now, and here I'm going to say like countries dot select by index. Okay, and I'm going to pass it as 2. Okay, let's see what it's going to select. So here if you go, this is California, right? So this is my 0, this is my 1, and this is my second one. I mean, yeah, in the position 2, in the sense like it is the second, right? So actually 1 2 3, but we know index means -1, so 3 minus 2, that is 2, right? So when I say index by 2, that means it's going to select the New Jersey. And apart from that, also we know that we can select multiple, right? So let's see how to do that. So here I'm going to select countries dot select by. I'll go with the value this time just to show you. You don't have to use all the three functions to select a drop down. You can use any of this. Mostly people will ask like when I have to go with index, value, or the visible text. If you know the position, like they are going to be static, the options are going to be static, and if you have like minimal number of options, you can go with the index. And if the text is going to change dynamically, then we can write the dynamic way also. Or else if you know the value is going to be constant, we can use the value. In some cases there won't be value. In that scenario, we can either go with the index or the visible text. So here we have a Texas. So I'm going to copy the Texas. And if you see here, the visible text and the value both are exactly same, but that is not always true. In some scenario, there will be like some number or even value won't be there. Okay, but whatever you are saying on the in the DOM, you have to get it. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's see how to convert this test into XML file. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this particular test file. This is my test file. I'm going to right click and then go to testNG, and here we have an option called convert to testNG. So I'm going to click on that, and here we have the testng.xml file, that is the default name. And here you can select we have got this class name equal to package name followed by the class name. Now let's click on finish. So here you can select we got the XML. So what is the use of XML? We can use this for a lot of scenario, like testing is a huge concept. But why I'm creating XML in the sense like with the help of XML, probably in the next video we can do the cross-browser testing. That means we'll write our script only once, but we will be able to run the same script in Windows machine, Linux, or maybe Mac, and in different browser as well. So we are going to achieve that very simple with the help of Lambda test. Now let's see how to execute the XML. It's very simple, like right click and then you can go to run as and testng suite. And I'm going to switch over to my Lambda test platform so that I can see the output. So if I go to this automation, and here I should see that in a while, and here you can see like the drop down is there. And within this you can see like we have this running, so it's going to execute. I'm going to click on that. And yeah, it's almost done actually. So if I go to my console, you can see like select drop down value, and we got something else. And here you can see like some string that we don't know what is exactly. I have made a mistake, so I said that here we should not print the web element directly. We have to use the function called .getText. Okay, I said that, but I forgot to use the function, which is okay. We understood something that if we print the drop down, I mean web element itself, then we will see something like a reference, some kind of reference. Okay, but if you want to see the actual text, we have to get this get text. And let's go to this video and let's see how it looks. So I'm going to maximize. So here you can select first, it is going to select the Friday, and if I go down, you can see that it selected New Jersey as well as Texas. Okay, it was very fast, but you can slow down the video to see it again. Okay, now you might ask me, Koushik, hey, you are using get first selected option to print the first selected, but if I want to print all the drop downs, like here we are selecting by index, selecting by value, and I want to test whether it has selected all the options, then it's going to be very simple. So again we are going to say like countries dot get all selected options, and that is going to return me a list of web element. Okay, so here you can select all selected options. Now of course I can use the for each, and that's going to return me one web element at a time, and then I can just log that. Okay, so say out, and here I won't repeat the mistakes, I will print it. So web element dot get text. And don't get confused, this web element is basically the uh, name of the reference. Okay, we can make it anything. For example, I can say like country, right? So I can say like country. So from the countries, we are going to get one country at a time, and we are going to print the text. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So in this way, we can handle with the dropdown. And apart from that, we have also few other functions. Let me just give you a quick walkthrough. So if you go within the select class and if you give like control O, and then you can see. So here we have a function called isMultiple that is used to return boolean. We can understand from the script itself whether the select is multiple or not. Okay, and get options in the sense already like what are the options we have. If you want to get all the options, we can use this. Get all selected options means like as we saw now, if you want to print all the selected options, we can use this function. Get first selected, you already know, of course. And then we have select by and deselect all. Okay, that's it. Drop down is very simple concept in terms of HTML as well as in terms of Selenium. I hope you learn how to handle the dropdown. Okay, I'm just going to execute one more time so that we can see all the options. Okay, here I will just add one more sys out like selected option. Okay, now let's run this one more time. So run as and then followed by testNG suite. Now let's go to our Lambda test platform. And if I go back to the test, you can see here it's loaded and here we have the live test view. Before I click on that, it's getting completed. The test is getting completed. That's why we are not able to see the live interaction, or else of course you can see that. Here we can see that, but it's very minimal, right? If you have a larger script, of course that will be a great feature. Now let's go back to our console, and here you can select we got the New Jersey and we got the Texas, and the first one is the Friday. Okay, so that's it, very simple. Now next, let's move to the next topic, that is alert. In this test also, I have my setup and the TO done. And within this actual test, we are going to write now. So here we'll say like handle dropdown, handle alert. And of course, we have to change the URL. So let's go to our test site. And here I'm going to change the URL. Now let us understand what is an alert. So alert is basically used to bring the focus of an user to the web page, right? So for example, you might have seen this in older application and in some of the new application as well. So once I click on this click me button, you can see like I'm an alert box. So this is what alert. First thing you have to remember, whenever there is an alert, we cannot inspect the page or we cannot do any other interaction. For example, I'm trying to right click and do the inspect, but it's not possible at all. Okay, so how do we handle it? Very simple, very simple. Alert is, I will tell you that. Okay, don't worry. But here we have to remember few concepts. What is an alert? Alert is a JavaScript based pop-up, kind of pop-up, not exactly. It's like kind of dialog, or we technically it is known as alert. Okay, so here we have alert, and this www.lambdatest.com says, right, so this text is basically coming from the web page itself. So from wherever the website you are going to open the alert, it will be very similar, like the web page name and then followed by says. So that we cannot do anything. This is like browser configuration or browser properties. We cannot handle that. But here we have a text, right? I am an alert box. If you want to retrieve that text, of course we can use that. And here we have a only one button. That means it's a simple alert. And if I click on this one, you can see like this is known as confirm, because we have OK and cancel. That means two buttons are there. Okay, I can either click on the cancel button or either I can click on the OK button. And apart from that, also we have this prompt box. Prompt box in the sense like here we can enter some value. For example, I can enter my name as Koushik and I can click on OK, and you can see the same here. Okay, so let's see how to handle this. Okay, now let's see how to interact with the alerts. So first of all, what we'll do, we'll inspect this element. We cannot inspect the alert, but of course these are normal HTML web elements. Of course we can interact. Okay, so here we can see like we have something called click me, right? So I'm going to write a XPath for this. So / button and then followed by dot equals, and within single quotes I'm going to pass my value. And here we have 3 buttons. Nice. So we have to write some another type of XPath. Let's go to let XPath. Yeah. Okay. So here we have to write some kind of parent base or child base, or maybe we can go with the indexed based XPath. So here let's go with the index based XPath. Or also I can use the following sibling concept here. Let's go and inspect. So here we can select one of one. Okay. By the way, this is known as letX path. That is, this is used to find the X path. If you are interested, you can use it. But for learners at the beginners level, I will recommend you to learn the XPath concept. Okay. Since XPath is not in this video, I'm just using the tool to grab the XPath. Okay. So I'll just copy this, and here I will say like driver dot find element, and then followed by dot XPath, and then followed by the value. Okay. Then what we are going to do, we are going to do the click action. So we'll say like dot click. Okay. And once we do the click action, what will happen? Of course, the alert will appear, right? So I have clicked, now alert is appeared. And as I said earlier, when there is an alert, we cannot do anything. We have to handle it, or else we will end up with an exception. Okay. So how to handle it in the sense, very simple. We have to switch to the alert box. So for that, in Selenium, we have a concept called switch to alert. Let's see how to use that. So driver dot switch to, and then followed by alert. Okay. So this is going to return me the alert reference. So alert is basically what? Alert is basically an interface which will be implemented in the remote alert class. Okay. So if I go within the alert interface, you can see like only 4 functions are there. So it is very easy in Selenium. We have dismiss to click on the cancel button. We have accept to click on the OK button. And if you want to retrieve the text of an alert box, you can use the get text function. That's going to return the string. And if you want to type something on the prompt alert box, then we can use the send keys function. Okay. So I'll see one by one now. So let's go to the test. And here I'm going to say alert dot accept. Okay. So this is going to accept the alert. Okay. So let's go to the next one. So here I'm going to click on this particular box, click me from the JavaScript confirm box. Okay. So again, we'll try to take the XPath. Okay. It's basically the text based with the collections concept. You can write a better XPath, but I think this is fine. Okay. So here I'm going to select driver dot find element, and then followed by dot XPath and the value. And again, I'm going to do the click action. So basically it will try to click on the next button, right? And there we are going to do the dismiss action. So I can use the same alert reference. So here I can select alert dot dismiss. Okay. Now, if you want to type on the alert, that's going to be very simple. As I said, like we have the send keys function, right? So let's go and inspect this one. So here I can see like we have this XPath. So I'm going to use this. So driver dot find element by dot XPath, and here I have to give my value, and again I'm going to do the click action, right? And then followed by I'm going to say alert dot send keys, and here I'm going to type my name, that is Koushik, and that's it. We are pretty much done. We have typed the name, but of course we have to handle it, we have to accept it. So again I'm going to say like alert dot accept. Okay, that's it, very simple. And if you want to know what is the text present in the alert, then we can use the get text function. So I'm going to say like sysout, then followed by alert dot get text. Okay, and always remember we have to use the get text before handling the alert. Once we accept or dismiss, of course there won't be any alert, right? After that, if you say like alert dot get text, eventually we will end up with an exception. Okay, so I'm going to execute this now, and then I will show you what are the exception we can expect from the alert. Okay, so I'm going to click on this run button now directly from the test script, and let's go to our Lambda test platform. I think I have given the same name as Dropdown, so that's why that is this is also running in the same Dropdown section. If you change the build name and the test case name, of course we can see another test report like this. Okay, so let's go to the, it's completed already and it took around 8 seconds, which is really fast. And if I go and play this video, I don't think you can see actually all those alerts because it will be really fast, but let's see. Yeah, here you can select, we got that one, and here also, yeah, it's completed. It's very insanely, it's very fast, but yeah, that's good actually. Okay, so if you go here, you can see like I'm an alert box, that is the text we have printed from here, right? Now let's see what are the exception we can get. Okay, I hope you are very clear with this alert concept. There are only 4 functions. One is how to handle it. Okay, basically we can handle the handle the alert with accept or dismiss. And if you want to type something, we can use the send keys. If you want to retrieve the text, we have to get the get text function. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to handle this alert. Okay, I'm not going to accept this, so I'll just comment. After that, I'm trying to click on the second button. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to run this again. And yeah, we can see the exception in the console itself, so we don't have to go there, but still I will just like to show you what is exactly happening in the web as well. So it's completed again within 4 seconds. And if I play this video, so here you can see like we got this alert box, but we didn't handle it. And if you go here, we got an exception. Okay, so what is the exception? Unexpected alert open, and we'll get the text of that alert. Okay, unexpected alert in the sense like there is an alert, but we didn't handle it. Without handling, we are trying to do some other action. In that scenario, we'll get like unhandled alert open exception. This is the message actually, and the exception name is unhandled alert exception. Okay, similarly, there is no alert in the UI, but you are trying to switch to alert. In that case, we will get another alert like no such alert present exception. I will show you that as well. Okay, so once we click on that, then only we will get the alert. So we are trying to switch to the alert, right? Let's comment this particular line. Okay, now let's run this again. Let's see what happened in this time. Okay, so we got the exception, and here you can select no such alert, that is the message, and here the exception name, that is no alert present exception. Okay, so it's a very simple concept in Selenium. The alert is, I think, very simple concept. Just we have to remember the concept. Okay, apart from that, we also have something called modal alert. So what is modal alert in the sense? Let me show you in the UI. So if I go back to this like bootstrap alert, you can see like we have a lot of things. These are technically not alert. These are basically like your toast message. We call it as toast message or kind of notifications. Okay. And if you go to this bootstrap model, and if I click on this launch model, you can see like here we are getting close and the same changes. How to handle this is very simple. So if you remember the alert concept, I said that whenever there is a JavaScript alert on the UI, we cannot do any other interactions, right? But here you can see I can do right click, I can do the inspect, right? So it is simple web element only. So you have to find the element, you have to say like dot click or whatever the action you want to perform. Okay, so that's it. Very simple concept alert and dropdown as well. Okay, let me give you a quick recap. In dropdown, we learned few of the functions like how to select, how to deselect. We didn't see that, but yeah, you can do the like instead of select by index, you can say like deselect by index. That should work fine. Okay, and also like how to get all the selected options, how to get the first selected options, and also like visible text, index, value. We learned quite a few, and of course we saw other functions like is multiple, that is used to know whether the dropdown supports multiples option select or not. Okay, and in the alert, it's very simple. We have only 4 functions. One is the accept, to click on the OK button, dismiss, to click on the cancel button, send keys, to type on the alert, and get text, to retrieve the alert text. Okay, and also we learned like how to execute the test from testNG XML file in the Lambda test platform. So that's it from my side. I hope you have learned this tutorial and enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comment. I'll be happy to reply back. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon. Tada, bye bye. Take care.